Hey, friends, it is the first day of the MLB playoffs. Glorious time. I'm about half an hour away from watching the Brewers play in the postseason, which is a rare treat for me, historically speaking. It's been all right, the last few years, but very excited for that. Looking forward to it. In the meantime, I want to get sneak in an Immaculate Grid game. Looks like the Rangers beat the Rays 4-0, and then there's an exciting battle going on between Minnesota and Toronto. So a lot of playoff action out there. I've been working all day, so I need to get into the swing of things, get caught up on all the happenings. But exciting time. Looking forward to watching. But let's get a grid going. I'm gonna start sharing, and I'm gonna start playing. And let's see. Kent Tekulve was the big surprise yesterday, taking 5% for Phillies and Pirates. There are a few different combinations, but I was uh I was still going to use a big percentage player somewhere, I think. I just what the question was where. So I'm gonna hit refresh. Oh, I could use Frank Thomas, OG Frank Thomas here. That actually would have been a much better play. Someone pointed that out in the comments. But I didn't. So let's hit refresh and go after it. Oh, we've got 300 career batting average and then 500 career home runs. And we're going to line those up with the Atlanta Braves, LA Dodgers, and New York Yankees. We're also matching up. We've got the Astros there. Um, okay. So at one point I'd gone through and I'd found some relievers who worked for 300 career batting average. Um, the one I found for the Dodgers is the individual with this is the highest career batting average minimum 50 plate appearances or 100 plate appearances. I forget exactly what it was, but Terry Forster had like a 397 career batting average. He was a reliever, he played for both LA teams, I believe the White Sox and the Pirates, if I'm remembering all that right. So he'll work here. He goes 0.03%. That's a nice number. I want to say Mike Stanton works for both of these. Not Giancarlo Stanton, the reliever. I believe was 1 for 2 in his career. I'm gonna use him for the Yankees because it's Mike Stanley. Okay, Mike Stanton, very key. So I'm gonna use him here. He goes 0.02. And then for the Braves, that means I can use this guy Henry Aaron. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna use Hank Aaron. Henry Aaron. I'm gonna use Roberto Hernandez, who's a frequent player on John's grids. IQ was 1 for 2 as well. Whew, that is a good way to do that category. This will be a little bit more of a buster, but let's swing over here. Let's see. Astros and Dodgers. I think the one I want to go with is former Milwaukee Brewer, disappointing Milwaukee Brewer, I believe. Predates me though. Franklin Stubbs. He played for both these teams. Um, cool. And then up here, I can go with OG Frank Thomas. He played for the Milwaukee Braves along with the Astros. I've got a good grid going. Franklin Stubbs has been my worst pick so far. And then let's see. Astros and Yankees. I think Lance Berkman will do too well, too high. Um, and then Octavio Dotel does work. Mostly Kevin Bass might work, but I'm not super sure on that one. Dotel is definitely standing out for me. Berkman played out like a half season there. I believe Pudge Rodriguez briefly played with, I know he played for the Yankees. I think he briefly played for the Astros. Kenny Lofton will work. I think Kenny Lofton would be a better pick than Lance Berkman, probably a better pick than Octavio Dotel. Um, but Kenny Lofton always has his little number there. let's see. Pitching wise, Mike Hampton would have worked here, but he doesn't work. Shane Reynolds, no. Um, oh, Pettit and Clemens work, but I'm not going to select them. But that's three really fairly recent picks that do really well. That are going to take big numbers are Roger Clemens, Andy Pettit, and Lance Berkman. Um, Dotel is pretty common. Kenny Lofton is pretty common. Um, let's see. Here's what I'll do. I'll swing around the those 80s Yankee team or sorry, those 90s Astros teams. That's what I'll do because that's the way to do it. Um, see, that's a no on Brad Ausmus, no on Jeff Bagwell, Biggio, Barry, Caminiti. Let's see. That's my wife. Let's see. Dickie Thon didn't play in the late 90s. I'm just remembering him. Ricky Gutierrez, maybe. Moises Alou, no. Carl Everett, no. Derek Bell, no. Yep. I talked myself into Kenny Lofton. Let's see how he does. He also works for the other two, and he worked for Six Grids yesterday. Kenny Lofton is an Immaculate Grid superstar. He goes 0.4%. All right. So I could still get a one, but I'm not going to get that ghost score. And I'm not going to get a one because 500 career home runs is a pretty limited stack of people. Um, so let's see. For the Yankees, you basically got, well, the question is how to do this. I could also just do like count up the people who have 500 home runs and see who they work for and then pick the best ones. I think I could do that pretty successfully. Or I could count down. But counting down means it'll be more obvious. But anyway, Barry Bonds doesn't work for any teams. Henry Aaron obviously works for the Braves, and you've got Babe Ruth who works for the Braves and the Yankees, so he might be a sneaky pick to do for the Braves. Um, After Ruth, you get Pujols who would work for the Dodgers, and then A-Rod who works for the Yankees. So we've got yeah, Ruth and A-Rod so far. Um, let's see. Then you get into now you're getting into the 600s. You have Willie Mays doesn't work for any team. Uh, Ken Griffey Jr. does not work for any of these teams. Ken Griffey Sr. works for two of them, but that's not really the discussion. We keep going. Tommy works for the Dodgers. That's a sneaky pick. I think that might be a better pick than I listed anyone for the Dodgers yet? Oh, Pujols. No, I think Tommy will be a better pick than Pujols. They both had a similar Dodger kind of career, but Tommy was much what was 10 years before. So let's keep swinging. So we got Sosa, doesn't work. Um and then I think we're into McGuire territory. Frank Robinson. Frank Robinson does work for the Dodgers. I think Frank Robinson is taking the lead for the Dodgers. Because he only played there for a second, I think, like a year. Played for both LA teams. Um, and then you get into, let's see, we're in Harmon Killebrew territory. Doesn't work anywhere. Reggie Jackson works for the Yankees. I think he'll get about 10%. Mike Schmidt doesn't work anywhere. David Ortiz doesn't work anywhere. Manny Ramirez will work for the Dodgers. Mantle obviously works for the Yankees, and you get down to what? Jimmy Fox, um, and then Willie McCovey, Ted Williams, and Frank Thomas all had uh, 521 career home runs. None of them work. Ernie Banks doesn't work. Eddie Murray would work for the Dodgers. Gary Sheffield would work for the Dodgers or the Yankees or the Braves. He'll work for all three. So he's an interesting pick there. And Mel Ott, I don't think works anywhere else. I think he just played for the New York Giants. Um, I think Cabrera, but he's not going to work anywhere here. I think that'll do it. I kind of swung through that pretty quick. I might have missed some people, but based on just talking that out, which I don't know if anyone really wanted to hear. I don't know if that even makes for good content. That was probably just me rambling a little bit. I think Frank Robinson is the pick here. Takes 3%. Um, actually, I don't know if I settled on someone who would make the best Yankee pick. Maybe the fact that Sheffield works for the Braves and Dodgers means he's would be the optimal pick for the Yankees. Reggie Jackson is obviously less recent, but people know him. People know Babe Ruth. You're not going to fool anyone with them. Um, yeah. Fred McGriff would have worked if he'd had 7 more home runs. He would have worked for these two. He had 493, which is the exact same number as Luke Eric. So clearly, I'm a lot better at this uh, than I am at 300 saves. Let's see here. 500 career home runs. All right. Yeah, I'm going to dial in Gary Sheffield. 5%. And Eddie Matthews was going to work here. So Eddie Matthews and Henry Aaron work. Sheffield obviously works. Um, yeah, I think I'm gonna do Babe Ruth. I'm gonna actually put Babe Ruth in an immaculate grid and see how he does. 5%. All right. I'm pretty happy with a 5% out of Babe Ruth. But I figured he'd be popular here. Pujols is the leader among the Dodgers, which makes sense now that I kind of said them all out loud. It was like you had Murray, you had that little bit of Frank Robinson, you had Tomey. What? You only have, I guess you have 6 people, and then only 4 for the Braves. So I think Babe Ruth might have been the best pick because that was essentially Aaron, Matthews, Sheffield, and Ruth. And it's the Yankees only have 5, so it was Ruth, Jackson, Rodriguez, Mantle, and Sheffield. Okay. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm pretty happy with that overall. Let's see. Hardest category today was 59% here. So yeah, pretty good. Pretty good with a 13. So I'm gonna stop sharing, sign off here, and I'm gonna go watch some Milwaukee Brewers baseball and in the playoffs, which is something I hope doesn't become this rare thing that I have to go back and look at my old YouTube videos to remember a better time. But thanks for playing and post those scores. Let me know if there was a better way to play the 500 home run category, and I will be back at it tomorrow. Peace.